It's a pleasure to have you here. Former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, has offered fresh insights into his decision to resign from the ADC, revealing deep concerns about the party's internal processes and expressing strong reservations about the presidential ambition of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Speaking during an interview on Channel's television Politics Today, Lawal claimed that his decision to leave the party was influenced by what he described as a heavily manipulated primary election process that allegedly favored Atiku. His comments have generated considerable political attention because they came at a time when opposition parties are seeking to strengthen their positions ahead of the 2027 general election. The former CGF, who was previously involved in opposition coalition efforts, suggested that the events surrounding the ADC primaries convinced him that remaining in the party would compromise his principles and political convictions. According to Lawal, concerns about the direction of the ADC had existed long before the primaries were conducted. He alleged that many party members believed the party was gradually being positioned to advance Atiku Abubakar's presidential ambition, despite repeated assurance from party leaders that all aspirants would be given a fair opportunity to compete. Lawal explained that discussions had initially focused on producing a consensus candidate capable of uniting different factions within the party. However, those efforts reportedly collapsed because the leading contenders were unwilling to step aside in favor of one another. As a result, the party opted to proceed with primary elections as the most practical method of selecting its presidential candidates. Lawal said many members expected the process to be transparent and credible, but according to him, events unfolded differently once voting commenced. The former CGF alleged that the primary election process was compromised by individuals working in favor of Atiku's candidacy. He claimed that in several locations where voting took place, results that did not favor the former vice president's camp were allegedly altered or replaced. According to him, some outcomes were changed entirely, while in other cases, results were allegedly written and announced in a manner that guaranteed victory for Atiku supporters. Lawal maintained that many party members who participated in the exercise were aware of the irregularities but chose to remain silent for the sake of party unity. He argued that what occurred during the primaries represented a serious violation of democratic principles and undermined the credibility of the process. These allegations have added another layer of controversy to the political development surrounding opposition parties as preparations for the next election cycle continue. One of the issues that appeared to frustrate Lawal most was what he described as the willingness of party members to overlook the alleged irregularities in the interest of maintaining peace. According to him, many leaders and stakeholders within the ADC were calling for reconciliation and unity despite what he considered obvious manipulation of the electoral process. He questioned the logic behind such appeals, arguing that genuine reconciliation is difficult when individuals believe they had been deliberately denied a fair opportunity to compete. Lawal suggested that peace built on injustice would only create deeper divisions within the party and ultimately weaken its credibility among supporters. In his view, acknowledging and addressing grievances should come before any attempt to promote unity. He therefore concluded that remaining within the party would require accepting a process he fundamentally disagreed with, a position he was unwilling to embrace. Beyond his concerns about the conduct of the primaries, Lawal also made a series of striking remarks regarding Atiku Abubakar's suitability for the presidency. Drawing from his personal knowledge and past interactions within the former vice president, Lawal stated that he had carefully assessed Atiku's political record, leadership style, and capabilities. Based on that assessment, he concluded that an Atiku presidency would perform worse than the current administration led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The statement has already generated debates among political observers, given Lawal's previous involvement in opposition politics and his long-standing experience within Nigeria's political establishment. While he did not provide detailed examples to support his assessments, he made it clear that his conclusion was based on years of observing Atiku's political career and understanding his approach to governance. Perhaps the most revealing aspect of Lawal's comment was his admission that he did not want to find himself regretting any effort to oppose President Tinubu's re-election. According to him, his concerns about Atiku's potential leadership are so significant that he would rather distance himself from political activities than support a process that could ultimately lead to Atiku becoming president. Lawal suggested that he was reached a point where he must prioritize what he believes is best for the country over political alliances or personal relationships. His remarks have been interpreted by some analysts as an indirect endorsement of Tinubu's leadership when compared with the alternative currently available within the opposition. Others, however, see his comments as evidence of deep divisions within opposition ranks, divisions that could make it more difficult for rival parties to mount a strong challenge in 2027. The political implications of Lawal's resignation and subsequent comments are already becoming apparent. Opposition parties have been working to build momentum ahead of the next election cycle, hoping to present a united front capable of challenging the ruling party. However, allegations of manipulation, internal disagreements, and questions about leadership continue to create obstacles for coalition-building efforts. Lawal's departure from the ADC adds to concerns that opposition groups may struggle to maintain cohesion if disputes over candidate selection and party management remain unresolved. His remarks also highlight the intense competition and strategic calculations already underway, despite the fact that the 2027 election remains one distance away. Political stakeholders are likely to closely monitor how the ADC and other opposition parties respond to the allegations and whether efforts will be made to address the concerns raised by the former CGF. As political activities gradually intensify across the country, Babachir Lawal's comments are expected to remain a major topic of discussion within both ruling and opposition cycles. His allegation regarding the ADC primaries, his criticism of Atiku Abubakar, and his warning about the dangers of supporting a candidate he believes will perform worse than the current administration have introduced new dynamics into the national political conversation. Whether these claims will influence public opinion or affect future political alignments remains uncertain, but they have undoubtedly added to the growing debate about leadership, democracy, and the future direction of Nigerian politics. For now, Lawal appears determined to distance himself from active political participation while leaving behind a set of remarks that could continue to shape discussions about the road to 2027 election. That's all for now on News Express. And if you find this insightful, kindly like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Chidera Isum. Thank you for watching. Do have a beautiful day.